Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Super Metroid multi-category extension tournament losers bracket race between Kevnastics and Nevdi. This is going to be North Korea percent. Kev just picked it. So they're almost ready to go. Good luck to both runners. Now, personally, I've never actually run North Korea percent. So it'll be exciting just to watch people do things that I can't do.
Right, as Nevdi mentioned, the pick was done by Kevnastics, and if I recall correctly, Nevdi actually has the best time of all the runners in this tourney in this category, North Korea percent. So pretty ballsy pick for him, actually. But this is also if you have been following the tournament at all, you'll know that this is a very volatile category. And considering the well-rounded player Nevdi is, Kevnastics' pick actually makes a lot of sense. But this will be a tough match for him. So wish them luck. And the race has just begun.
So while they're making their way through Series Station, I suppose we should explain a little bit about how this works. Why is it called North Korea percent? North Korea, the actual country, its real name, or official name, is the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. And so we decided we would make a category over this for some reason, and take out the bosses in that order: Dragon, Phantoon, Ridley, Kraid. Like every other category in this tournament, it is mostly... But just because the category itself is named for a joke doesn't mean the category is a joke to run. They gotta do some pretty difficult stuff, including a full suitless Meridia. So it's gonna start an awful lot like what you would see in RBO.
It is very well put. The runners will have to go through a series of heated rooms with Alvaria suit, just as done in RBO, and they would have a full suit as Meridia, from beating Botkin to getting to Dragon and up to grabbing Plasma. And it's a very difficult and technical category in that regard.
All right, neither of them getting too stopped by series.
Yeah.
Sorry, I interrupted you there.
Oh, I was going to comment the same. Gymnastics with a suboptimal Ceres execute. I'm sure he is aware, and he really can't afford to suffer these early time losses, because this is Nevdi's strongest suit.
It's true. He's probably banking on just the sheer difficulty of it. He's thinking if he has a really good run and Nevdi has a bad run, he can take this. But that's, like you said before, it's a pretty ballsy move to make. Right off the bat, Nevdi showing off that moonfall. I think Kev does too, just not until the climb room. Oh, maybe not. I'm wrong.
Yeah, not much is going on in this the beginning portion of the early game up to bombs. The first deviation from other mainstream categories you'll see right after early supers, when the runners head back and grab reserve tanks. Unlike 80% or something.
Actually, I think it's possible for them to to awaken the planet and then turn around and grab the blue Brinstar E-Tank. I don't think it's
Excuse
the
me,
optimal way, but
pardon me, that is correct. That is absolutely correct. And in fact, that's been a very popular move from many runners in this tourney, actually, just taking the 1 minute or so time loss to go grab that safety E-tank. The seeding E-tank in Brim Star, you can actually grab it now, like doing the very difficult task tank maneuver, triple frame perfect, and you have a 1/2 chance of getting it. And it'll save these 2 elevator rides runners are going to take, presumably. So let's see what Nevdi does. Yeah, as
yeah,
McKinney said, heading back for the energy tank.
I have yet to see anybody in this tournament go for the task tank, so that's because Shiny Zenny's not here. Kev following suit, kill all the pirates, open up the doors, and then just turn around and go back for that tank. It makes the hell runs much more comfortable. It's probably not something you would do in a PB attempt, but in a race situation where a death in a hell run means the end of the run, well, or could mean the end of the run, 1 minute for safety isn't actually that bad.
Right, and especially considering that the hell runs early on, the hell runs to Bubble Mountain, hell runs to Speed and to Wave, would if you're not grabbing this extra energy tank, actually becomes somewhat tight. You don't have that much room for error. And if you don't grab this energy tank, the runners most likely will need to take some safety saves. But with the aid of this extra E-tank, you get roughly 7 extra seconds of elongated lifespan in the heated rooms. So this can even potentially save the runners the trouble of grabbing the safety saves. So it may not actually be the whole 1 minute of time loss that they're suffering.
You know, that's true. I hadn't even thought of that. And like Sistrime said, it is very tight hell runs at the beginning if you don't grab this tank. Most notably, the wave one. From my personal experience anyway, if you try to get out of the wave room and jump too early in double chamber and land on the spikes, that's it. Like, no matter how much health you have left after that, you don't have enough to get out. So this tank can be a lifesaver.
Exactly. The wave beam hell run by itself is not that difficult in terms of execution. You aren't maneuvering. There aren't difficult, complex movements you have to do. But the one jump coming out of the wave beam room that McTimothy mentioned, that one jump by itself makes it very, very risky. So this extra A tank will for sure make these hell runs much easier. Nevdi actually forgetting to use the I think there's a way to not make Bomb Chorizo fire these charged beam shots. Right. What Kev is doing looks better. So you ideally with the extra missile expansion, you want to fire all your 5 missiles into BT, then farm the drops and do a very easy 1 round. But Nevdi somehow was not able to manipulate the drops, so he had to shoot quite a few extra shots, giving Kevnastics some room to catch up.
Yeah, we didn't talk about how they had grabbed that extra missile pack, which is another route deviation. You don't normally get to see Bomb Chorizo do that laser attack. He'll only do it if you have more than 5 missiles, which in pretty much any other category in this game, you're never gonna see.
Oh, in this tourney, we actually see it again due to the presence of Nintendo Power Percent. Interesting enough.
You make a good point. Totally forgot about Nintendo Power Percent.
I know that category really catches us off guard.
I'll say.
And now the runner's heading into early Super's room. This early Super's mockable by itself, very standard maneuver. And oh right, I forgot about this this reserve tank pickup. So Usually in 100% runs, you see runners grab the super missile first and do a cool wave or D boost, and then grab this reserve tank. But the having the extra 5 missiles actually allowed Nevdi to grab this reserve tank early, so he can grab this early supers on the way back. This means he doesn't have to go for the very tight reverse mock ball, whereas Kevnastics was not able to grab the sufficient ammos, so he will have to go for the reverse, the very difficult reverse mock ball in order to not lose too many seconds against Nevdi.
He did pull it off last race, so let's see what he can do.
This is a lot harder than it looks.
Oh, so
slightly
close.
early. Yeah, so close.
Gotta be like the hardest mock ball in the game.
Hardest mock ball in this category for sure, I think. And right, this is another deviation. So the runners, unlike say an RBO run, they will be hitting to Dragon as the first boss, and in order to escape Dragon's room, you want to perform a Crystal Flash. And to perform a Crystal Flash, you need at least 10 ammos of each kind. So 10 supers, 10 missiles, and 10 power bombs. And this power bomb pack right here, this super missile pack right here, is more or less the most on the way super missile expansion they could grab. So this pickup is more or less mandatory. You also see Nevdi farming the bucks here. This is to fill up his reserve tanks. I actually never thought about this. This will make the later Hell Run much more reliable, because there aren't many convenient spots to fill up your reserve tanks. The reserve tank, when you pick it up, starts empty, so it's not by itself. It's of no use. But the runners will have to fill it up at convenient farm spots. The praise Nevdi just used to farm up the health. Actually never even considered.
Kev choosing to skip that farm. I don't know how much he's got in the reserve right now, but he'll have another chance to fill it at just after the Meridia tube. You can climb up that room, and I think they're called Zebos that come out of that little tunnel. They're bugs.
So.
Just call them bugs.
Right, the Zebos that Kevnastics will be farming presumably actually are more suited for farming purposes, because they have better drop tables. But Nevdi just opting to farm up his reserve here. There's some interesting route choices. Nevdi went for the trick called Hero Shot, but was not able to fire the shot as he was jumping, so had to backtrack a little bit. This will be Kev's chance to catch up a little bit.
Kev needs all the chances he can to catch up. He is definitely banking on taking an earlier lead. Thing about this category, it's very top-heavy. Once you get out of Meridia and head to Wrecked Ship, it's a pretty straight shot towards, well, every other goal you have. Meridia really is the hardest part. So, in order for Kevnastics to beat the powerhouse that is Nevdi, he's going to want to be ahead coming out of Meridia.
Oh, definitely. And here, runners, after picking up the alpha power bombs, actually will head up and grab this beta power bombs instead. And the reason for this is that in order to perform Crystal Flash, I said you only need 10 ammos of each. But power bombs in particular, you have to lay the first power bomb, then consume 10 power bombs for the Crystal Flash to actually activate. So runners will need 3 expansions total, and you really only have 3 expansions that are directly on the way. The 3 are the Alpha PBs, Beta PBs, and the post-Croc power bombs. So this beta power bomb pickup is more or less mandatory for this category. The other closest one I can think of it would be maybe in Dandy Inside, or maybe in Retro Brinstar, but these places are really far out of the way.
Yeah, I can't think of any other spot. If you accidentally skip beta PBs, you're in for a trip around the world. Edikuns, I guess.
And here you see Nevdi picking up. This is an optional item, and the safety item as well, the Spacer Beam. So since the runners will head to Dragon first, this also means the runners will have access to Plasma Beam fairly early on. Well, not exactly early on, but they will have access to it before fighting the 3 other bosses. And since Plasma Beam will override Spacer Beam upon grabbing it, this pickup actually does not. You won't get the benefit. You won't see the benefit of Spacer Beams as much as in, say, the new route 80%. But it is a good safety item to have for early Meridia because Samus is so barren on her damage output options. So it is a safety item. I don't think it is grabbed in the world record.
I think you are correct there. So yes, well explained. I remember seeing, I think it was Apathy Duck run this in an earlier match and he skipped it, so. Nice safety item, but ultimately optional. High jump boots, on the other hand, are not. You want to get through Suitless Meridia, you're gonna need those. So Nevdi collecting that, along with this missile pack. And the E-Tank. And we're gonna get to see our first Hell Run.
Here we go. Let's see if Nevdi does this. Okay, he still goes for the safety save. This is a very common safety take. The first Hell Run, heated run to Bubble Mountain. The third room in particular is very, very technical and very precarious. So let's see how Nevdi does.
You may know that he's ahead and think the safety save is worth doing. If Kev is watching the restream, he may opt to skip it just to save time, but we'll see. It is a dangerous skip to make.
As he gets through the first room, no problem. Now the third room. These flying dudes will do massive damage. So if he wants to tank it, he really wants to take damage from the Sova. He said no problem. Very, very well done.
Very well done.
And as you see, Nevdi had less than 100 health, not counting reserve there. So without the extra E-tanks, his reserve tank would have kicked in, but that actually only fills roughly 70 health because reserve tanks, when it fills up during when Samus is in heated rooms, actually Samus still takes damage during the animation. So without the extra E-tank, Nevdi would actually be around would have say 30 health remaining there. So that pickup was very, very crucial.
That's exactly what you were talking about earlier too, about how it takes a minute to pick up that Blue Brain E-Tank, but it may end up saving enough that 1 minute really isn't the full cost. If he had to...
Yeah, we actually have an interesting deviation going on here. Kevnastics going for the Ice Hell Run in the beginning. This is usually done after the runners beat Kill Croc and Grapple Beam. But this is an interesting choice by Kevnastics.
Yeah, and it looks like he's planning on picking up the high jump E-Tank to not have to farm. So
that is clever.
Yeah, I like it, but I don't know if it's faster. That's interesting, to say the least.
And now Nevdi will be heading to another very difficult Hell Run, the Wave Beam Hell Run. And he's not going to take the safety save. That safety save, if he wants to take it, he needs to go down Bubble Mountain and suffer 2 extra room transitions and climb Bubble Mountain again. So foregoing that save saves a good amount of time.
And like we were saying earlier, this Wave Hell Run there's nothing terribly tricky about it except for coming out of this wave room, where we've all made this mistake at some point or another. If you jump too early, you'll hit the spikes on the bottom, and in any percent run or any other category really, it's no big deal. Ah,
That I like that option.
I do
The
too.
a very so not going for the jump definitely is the fastest way out of that room, but by intentionally taking the Ripper hit, the Rippers actually do much less damage than the Spikes. The Spikes do, I believe, 64. The Rippers, I cannot recall how much, but I'm sure it's significantly lower. Um, and it looked easier as well because it's not reliant on Nevdi timing the tight jump instead of just running off the ledge. So it was a very good safety strat to take there.
I agree. I like that. If it's the same Rippers that are at wrecked ship, then I think they only do something like 8 damage, so almost nothing compared to the spikes. Kevnastics going to take that safety save. He'll probably have to pop the reserve. Yeah.
Yeah, so we mentioned that in order for Kevnastics to catch up, he would want to cut out some of these safety saves. But if you of course if you die during one of these heated runs without a safety save, that's also GG for any of the runners. So the runners will be taking safety saves as they see fit. The entirety of Meridia is also still very tricky. So the heater runs aren't the only places where this run can die. And we see Nevdi fighting Quagmire. Quagmire actually gave Nevdi some really good luck. When Quagmire swipes like that, there's nothing you can do other than just suffer the time loss. So pretty quick fight there for Nevdi.
Looks like he's going for the wraparound shot. Let's see if he gets it.
And gets it.
Nice.
That's for those more just a double frame perfect maneuver. Not sure where he's gonna use it though. He did suffer the extra 60 or so damage, but oh.
You
He does
wanted to
get the
use it
swag
right
points.
there.
Yeah, exactly. The group spark was very much intended. So the moment of swag actually gives Kevnastics some time to catch up.
Little bit.
A little bit, exactly.
Nevdi looks like he's significantly ahead, but do remember that Kev has already picked up Ice Beam. Looks like he's turned it off, which is probably a good call. You don't want to freeze enemies that you're trying to kill for health.
Oh, and Kev is actually heading down to... I think he just got speed, so he's coming down here to take this this wave hell, this safety save for the wave hell run, which Nevdi actually skipped. So this is some time he's going to suffer, but really, if you want to have any shot at winning this race, you really can't afford to die without a safety save. So I really don't blame Kevnastics for taking this extra save.
I
Oh,
do not either. And, oh boy. Well,
right.
that
Okay, so
could be bad.
yeah, for sure. That was probably say 30 extra damage, heated damage that Kevnastics did want to take. So last time when I saw, if I remember correctly, Nevdi with the Ripper setup was actually able to get out the heated rooms without activating a reserve with 30 health remaining. So okay, Kevnastics taking using the same strategy, and actually has a lot of health remaining. Should be no problem.
And he's through.
Very nice.
All right. Did not have to use that reserve. Popping the reserve can be a real problem just because you need to find a place to refill it. And it's so much time. You really only want to use it when you have to.
Exactly. So Nevdi was able to maintain a full reserve getting to Crocomire. Or actually, I think he may have refilled in between. But the idea is that Kevnastics wants to grab Croc E-Tank to fill up his health, and then since grabbing energy tanks doesn't really fill up your reserve tanks, so the runners will want to maintain. So right. So as McTimothy said, you want to not have to pop your reserve and maintain a full reserve and rely on energy tank pickups to actually fill up your health instead of the reserves. And I see Nevdi actually taking a safety save before this ice hell run. So the runners have taken the same number of saves by this point.
See how Kevnastics fares against Crocomire. One swipe so far. Otherwise, pretty good patterns.
Yeah, really good patterns for both runners.
Nevdi,
Like
Nevdi.
that is awesome. Oh, and Nevdi actually, I missed it, but oh, so he suffered. He used all that time to set up the ice escape mock ball, which is actually a huge time save, probably close to 10 seconds, and still, and unfortunately doesn't get it, and in the process losing a ton of health.
He wasn't in danger of death because he still had that reserve, but yeah. Just what we were saying earlier, if he had accidentally triggered that reserve, he'd have to find a place to refill it, and he'd lose a ton of time as a result. So getting out of there with, like, what was it, 10 health? It's pretty close.
Oh, it looks like Nevdi actually. So the standard route, the runners will be will be breaking the tube and heading to Meridia, but it looks like Nevdi might be going back to grab the Soldier's refill, with only 30 or I mean now 42 health, not counting the ones in reserve. This is actually some very dangerous range because a lot of things in Meridia actually do more than 100 damage, and if you take a hit and your reserve tank activates during that animation, Samus actually runs out of iframes, and Samus gets one shot even though you have reserve tanks. So this is Nevdi must know that he has some substantial lead now, actually taking this pretty huge detour, probably 30 seconds, just to grab the refill. But this is again a very clever play on his part.
Yeah, I definitely like the Sloater's refill. With just that little health. You gotta keep in mind that all of Meridia was designed to be played with Gravity Suit. So enemies here that do 30 damage to Gravity Suit Samus are gonna do 120 to just Power Suit Samus. So they have 4 E-Tanks and a reserve, and that's still not a lot.
Bottom coming up, even though there is a safety spot at the if you stand at the leftmost edge, Bottom can actually fire all these projectiles that are really hard to avoid. So the runners do want these extra, do want full health entering Meridia, or as much health as possible. I should mention that this super missile that Nevdi is picking up, the Crab Supers, is actually a... Okay, but first of all, Kev needs to...
Yeah, oh no.
This is a tricky speedy jump.
Yeah, the trick to jumping higher with high jump and speed booster is take your first step before holding dash. And it looks like Kev knows to do that, but maybe got a bit nervous and... Oh, you should
right, this is
okay, but not ideal.
This is not ideal at all. He missed one of the grapples, and right, that speedy jump. You want to have some bits of some amount of dash speed, but not too much. And it's very tricky to control. So maybe Kev will be either taking the bug refills for a little bit or opting to go for Snorter's refill at all, or so I presume.
Yes, I would think so.
Okay, it looks like he's
Nevdi's
going
having
for.
trouble actually landing the grapple beam on the blocks there.
Yeah, even though with gravity suit, even though without gravity suit, this is actually much easier than the intended strats because Samus actually moves much slower underwater. So Nevdi actually picked up that the crab supers. Um, that's actually not a required pickup because the runners only need the full amount of 10 super missiles to perform the Dragon Crystal Flash. But do remember that the door to Dragon is a green door, so the runners will be using one super there, and then they would. And since Dragon Goose have a very rare chance of dropping super missiles, the runners will have to farm the mock choice until they drop a super missile to be full on 10 before entering Dragon. And grabbing that crab supers just eliminates this. Just means that you don't have to roll this dice, relying on mock choice for the extra super missile drop. It is some time loss, but I haven't seen anyone in this tourney who actually skips picking up crab supers. I believe it is still picked up in the world record run.
I am not sure what Kevnastics was thinking killing that crab, but he's gonna have to reload the room and try again.
Hmm.
So, ooh, and there's so much going on. Nevdi taking a slam from Botwoon's face, but finishing up the fight, and Kevnastics trying to. He's gonna wait for this crab to get high enough on the wall that he can fire a super, switch to his ice beam, freeze it, jump on top of it like a platform, and then freeze the fish and jump on top of the fish. But he froze the fish a bit too early, and he's killed the crab that he needs.
Nevdi didn't have to do this maneuver because he was able to pull off the cool gravity jump entrance that actually puts Samus directly up, landing on that fish and does not have to go through this crab freezing process. But yeah, this is really Kevnastics' only way out this room. This main street is a very tricky room to navigate through this.
It is true. Once that tube is broken, it is broken. So if you miss that semi-pseudo gravity jump without gravity suit, there is no second try. Meanwhile, on Nevdi's screen, he's getting some relief. He's out of the water.
And he's also entering one of the trickier rooms to navigate the Colosseum. There's a chance to just die instantly if you somehow get deep stuck in the sand and there's no nearby grapple blocks. Nevdi is taking pretty safe. He's actually navigating really well using the grapple blocks, never landing in the sand in the first place. And there's a tricky D-boost waiting here. Actually, wow, goes for the air ball. That's very well done.
Definitely the safer option there. And taking the pre-Dragon safety save, which I definitely expected. Alright, the Dragon fight. So, the big problem that the runners are about to be faced with this Dragon fight, or at least Nevdi, Kev will get there in a minute, is how do you get out of Dragon's room and out of the Precious room without gravity suit? So what they're going to do in this room, in Dragon's room, is Crystal Flash and have Dragon grab them during the Crystal Flash, which for whatever reason will give Samus a free spike suit, or flash suit, as it is otherwise known. They want to turn that spike suit into a blue suit because they have to perform grapple jumps to get out of Dragon's chamber, and if you try to do a grapple jump with a spike suit, you will almost certainly just launch the spark. They need to keep that shine spark, so they need to keep their blue suit to get out of the precious room. It's a very, very technical, tricky part of the run. A lot of stuff can go wrong. So let's see what happens.
Oh, clean. Clean kill.
Very well done. So you can see the echoes behind Samus. That means that Nevdi does indeed have blue suit, even though it's not blue. It would be blue if he had gravity suit.
The Dragon fight itself is already fairly tricky. The grapple quick kill while converting the spike suit into a blue suit. The maneuver itself was pretty tricky in the first place, but here is a real killer. This escape grapple jump is really, really hard.
It's true, and because in order to perform it, you do need to use up some health. You do have a limited number of tries to do it, but Nevdi makes it look like it was nothing.
Makes it look so easy. I don't
Oh my
believe
God.
this. Doesn't even do the double bounce, which I think makes the trick much more consistent. Just goes a single bounce and it gets a first try.
Wow. Now he's taking the post-Dragon save, because if he screws anything up from here, he definitely doesn't want to do that again.
So Nevdi, with this safety save, he's kind of passed all the real tricky parts of this run. But they can still go run. I've seen runs that die in Lower Norfair. The next energy tank the runners will be picking up will be... ideally the runners won't be picking up any more energy tanks after this. So they will be doing the remainder of Meridia and all of Wrecked Ship and all of Norfair heading to Ridley without any refills, ideally. And that actually gives birth to some pretty precarious situations. I've seen runs in this turn that die in Lower Norfair, for example. But after Dragon fight, Nevdi has passed the most tricky mandatory sections of this category.
If you are just joining us, this is the Super Metroid Multi-Category Extension Tournament. This is the losers bracket. Kevnastics versus Nevdi racing North Korea %. Now, I say losers bracket, but neither of these runners are losers. After all, they are racing a video game on the internet. How cool is that? Nevdi's going to pick up Plasma Beam, which makes the rest of the boss fights absolutely simple.
Even though Plasma Beam is one of the more out of the way items, it's located in the northern tip of Meridia. But without it, you save 40 extra shots on Mother Brain and Ridley, as well as makes Lower Norfair. Okay, Kevnastics needs to be careful. This is what I was talking about. There's a chance of death if you get deep stuck. He needs to somehow.
Yeah.
No.
That's the end. Oh, where's his last save?
Looks like it's before bot. Yeah, it has to be before Batu.
Before bot wound.
If it's Meridia.
Did Nevdi fell down into the pit? Oh man. So both runners having trouble. Kevnastics certainly having more trouble right now. But
absolutely.
We were saying about Plasma before that I think any chance you have to pick up in any category that takes out Dragon before Ridley, Plasma is going to be a really good pickup to have. Just the time that it saves you in Lower Norfair and on the Ridley fight and on the Mother Brain fight is certainly worth the pickup. And so in this category, they'll definitely go for it.
Nevdi is heading into one of the less commonly seen parts of the game, Forgotten Highway. The only other time I recall seeing this this section of the game is in RBO and probably in one of the any map completion categories. But if you want to get to Phantom from Dragon after picking up the Plasma Beam, this is the most efficient path. Is he backdooring Wreck Ship?
It's true, so-called Forgotten Highway because there's nothing here. No items, no bosses. So
just the map tiles.
Yeah, for most major categories of this game, no one ever comes here. But this is not a major category. This is North Korea %. This is a category extension tournament after all. So, no normal categories going on around here. I didn't mention
for a cool. Oh yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say I didn't mention this before because I was talking about Plasma Beam making boss fights easier. If you're an optimal player, it doesn't make Phantoon that much faster either, but it does guarantee that you'll be able to get a 2-round. So just one more reason to pick up Plasma.
If you are a really good Phantoon, if you're really good at the Phantoon fight, it's even faster to not use Plasma Beam. Because Plasma Beam will get enable a 1-round. But that's beside the point. That's beside the point.
So let's see what patterns Phantoon gives to Nevdi here. He's got enough of a lead that he doesn't really care. Could be slow and it wouldn't matter. That's a slow. And a mid. And, oh, he missed a missile somewhere. Didn't get the 2-round. And another mid. And now he's gone. Plasma Beam makes boss fights simple. Speaking of boss fights, Kevnastics is about to enter Dragon. Let's wish him the best of luck in this. So, damaging down. And just waiting for that goop pattern. Which is never going to be the first round. Ah, gets a swoop. And another swoop.
Swoop again.
That's not what he wants to see, but there we go. Now he gets that goop pattern he was looking for, and he has a spike suit now. Spike suit, flash suit, they're the same thing. As far as I know. So now he's waiting for another goop pattern. Dragon not giving him the same luck that Nevdi had earlier. There we go.
Nice.
That's harder than it looks, too.
Yeah, if you perform a direct jump upwards, Samus will actually blow the spike suit. So Kevnastics had to hold angle down, and to do the straight jump, to do upward jump, and do that clean maneuver, basically activating the spark before Dragon grabs Samus, and then connecting with a grapple kill. But he does not have as much health as Nevdi did, for some reason. I think Nevdi had more like 300 here, so Kevnastics will have less tries at this tricky grapple jump.
I think he may have taken a hit from Dragon's Stinger. I'm not sure. Oh, he's popping the reserve here to give him the most. Again, this is not free, this grapple jump here.
Oh, very nice.
Ooh. Nicely done. If you're just a little bit too far to the right, you'll bonk into that ceiling and have to try again, so it is a precise jump.
Kevnastics entering the save room. Right. With this little health and no reserves, he'll want to take this energy refill. As I said, the runners won't have any means of energy refill until pretty much the end of the game. So, okay, actually forgoing the save.
Oh, that's in the save.
Well, I mean, as long as he doesn't fall in Colosseum, he should be fine.
He's also probably thinking if he has to reload a save, then he's already lost the race, so he's just trying to go as quickly as he can now.
Octo is actually doing like 250 damage in the 3 seconds there. Fun fact: Moxtro is actually deal more damage than the actual Metroids per unit of time. So the Space Pirates actually created this species that doesn't have as much of a doesn't have a good grab onto Samus, but actually does more damage per unit time.
I did not actually know that. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, it is.
All right. With the gravity suit and the full beam combination, Nevdi is making his way to Lower Norfair. He's going to take out the Republic part of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea.
A strong runner, any person runner that Nevdi is. This is pretty much a breeze for him, really.
Yeah, this is
so much health and all the power-ups he wants.
It's like old route, except less dangerous.
Goes for the chronic boost. Unfortunately, doesn't get it. I think it was a little bit too far to the left. Needs to resort to this backup. Kevnastics in the very tricky, very technical plasma room. Makes quick work with it.
It's true. Mess up that plasma room and you can accidentally lose track of a pirate or...
There's a pirate that... there are 2 ball pirates in that room that actually jump at... it's like unlike anything I've seen this game. They jump really, really fast and it's really hard to catch them if you somehow lose track.
Ooh. Nevdi missing fast pillars.
Going for the space jump version to conserve some health, but did not work out. Work out for him.
And the semi-tricky worst room in the game strat, where you freeze that one wall pirate on the left. It's not too hard when you get used to it, but it can be pretty easy to accidentally double hit that pirate and kill it, and you actually want to use it as a platform, so... No trouble for Nevdi in Amphitheater either, not losing any space jumps.
This room, Nevdi will charge a charge shot here, and this downward shot will double hit one of the pirates and also hit the Kai Hunters. And he was able to kill 2 of them very quickly. And since you're laying 2 power bombs in this room, killing the 2 Kai Hunters saves as much as 3 seconds just from dagger reduction alone.
Maybe you know this, Susrime, but is it more worth it if you miss the pirate kills to do the bomb spread strat?
I think the bomb spread strat is only. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. So as opposed to using a power bomb,
Yes.
that's a good question. That's a good question. And I know as much as you do, McTimpy.
All right, then I will try to find out later. All right.
Into ready as Kevnastics has into wreck ship. This ready fight will be pretty much a breeze for Nevdi, player of this caliber. Yeah, he's manipulating the soups pretty well.
Yeah, you see him getting rammed there. Sometimes you're not sure if Ridley's going to go for a swoop or a ram. But, very nice fight overall.
Yeah, good fight. Nevdi might even go pick up. Okay, okay, doesn't. Right. He had the option to pick up really C tank for maximum safety, but yeah, even the amount of health he has is still more than sufficient.
Yeah, for someone used to running old route, having over 200 health coming out of Ridley he's fine.
Yeah, he probably has
over
close
300.
To 300.
Yeah, because of that reserve.
Reserves. We have a textbook 2-round fight from Kevnastics.
Yes, very well done on Fantoon.
At least I hear this from most KPDR runners. But with plasma beam, you can actually hitbox the very dangerous Kai hunters, and by which I mean you can fire a shot and actually Samus actually just goes through them during the beam hitting animation. So this normally really tricky, or with charge shot with plasma beam you can actually kill them in a very timely manner, as you see Nevdi do here. This 3 Kai Hunter, this 3 Musketeers room normally very tricky, but Nevdi just taking the few extra seconds to make it absolutely safe. He's basically out of all the dangerous parts of this run. Boss remaining is Kraid, and Kraid is no threat.
Yeah, at this point, I'm thinking he'd have to really mess up Mother Brain to die now. And with all the extra ammo that he had to pick up in order to Crystal Flash and Dragon, ammo for Mother Brain 1 is not even a concern.
And with the extra E-tanks he had to pick up to survive the Hell rounds, Mother Brain 2 is not a concern either.
Yeah, he can even afford to get catch-upped, can't he?
Yeah, he can take like 3 catch-ups and still survive.
We were saying earlier, it's a very top-heavy run in as much as the first part is really the hard part. And it was Kevnastics' pick to run this category. He obviously was hoping that he would have a good run and Nevdi would have a bad run and he'd be ahead coming out of Meridia. But unfortunately for Kev, it did not work out that way. So Nevdi is in a very commanding position right now.
Toss away this run to somehow go for the use charge plasma shot on Kraid. and somehow create this this zombie grade. But even that's pretty. Even that's that's a stretch. Yeah, just use. Yeah, very good, very nice. Very
Yeah,
nice
just
quick
do
kill.
this. The standard grade quick kill is still better even with plasma.
Absolutely, and I think it's still faster than the plasma way actually.
Yeah, I think you save on lag frames anyway. I know
All
I
these
used
extra E tanks. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I use the charge beam method because I'm not consistent enough with the missile method, which is something I really need to work on. But I've been doing it for over a year now, so. And the disadvantage to the charge beam method of the Kraid quick kill is that it does generate more lag. So.
Yeah, inevitably. And I think maybe Kraid opens his mouth a few moments later as well compared to the missile opener. But I can be wrong
That's
on
true
that.
too. I believe you are correct.
For E-tanks, Nevdi still opts to pick up the Varia suit. I believe with 5 E-tanks in the reserve, he can actually survive the Rainbow Beam as is. But picking up the Varia suit basically means that basically halves the damage from Rainbow Beam. It's the only thing that Varia is good for over Gravity Suit. So now he's just in really strong shape. Actually, misaligns the door there due to some frames to the door transition, but all of that is pretty insignificant given the DT has.
He seems to be taking his time. Wonder if he's like thinking about something or wondering if he's messing it up somehow. I don't know. He hesitated in the gate room there.
Right. I saw the hesitation. Maybe he was, I don't know. Maybe he was just double checking the boss order. He might have killed Kraid before really or something. Which in that case will be a instant DQ. But
Yeah.
he did kill DPRK in the exact order, so
I like that mock ball strat. And he's gonna go for this one too, isn't he? Yeah. Oh, I didn't open the door.
does not open the door. The Terminator mock ball actually doesn't save any time, any room time. It's give or take identical to just running through the room normally, but it actually fixes the door transition a little bit. So you're saving some frames there instead. And Nevdi is already in G4, while Kev still has, unfortunately, 2 more bosses to take out. Save worst room in the game strat by Kev, taking out all the pirates in the beginning and then lays a power bomb from a ball jump. Interesting strat.
Nice overhead ball from Kevnastics there. I figured he was going to charge a shot to kill that pirate, especially given the safe strat he used in the lower part of the room.
Yeah, the ball over the head is it's pretty tricky, but it looks so smooth when done correctly.
Alright, unlike Nevdi, Kevnastics did not get the lag reduction strat here, so you can see this low power bomb going off.
Yeah, and you have to lay 2 of them.
And Nevdi in the Metroid rooms, I said earlier, ammo is barely a concern for him. So you may end up seeing him go through here even faster than he normally would because he doesn't need the drops.
Yeah, he does the second room the Hundo way. With style. Again, usually any percent runners will be dying for good Metroid drops here because they need at least 15.9 or 15.10, but Nevdi has right with the extra 10 missiles and now 12 supers. Nevdi is all set for Mother Brain 1. I've seen a few races, actually many races in this tourney that came down to a baby skip, one runner missing the baby skip, but with the gap we see right now, even a failed baby skip probably can't salvage the deed for Kev, and especially when Nevdi does it flawlessly.
Yeah, look at that perfect baby skip. Somebody in chat says there should be a microwave percent. I want to say to that, you might be thinking of GT Classic. If it's possible to microwave a boss in that category, you'll see it. I suppose, well, not Max GT, which is in this tournament, because you'll take out Fantoon before picking up the microwave beam. All right, Mother Brain 2 for Nevdi.
Right, this is Kev's last chance to somehow win this race, is if Nevdi really messes this up. But with Plasma Beam, Mother Brain really only takes 20 shots to kill, and I think this is will probably be a convincing win for Nevdi after all. But do keep in mind that Nevdi does have the best time in this category, North Korea percent, out of all the 19 entrants. So really, this was an uphill battle that Kev was fighting. Still, props to Kev for picking this category, giving us a show. And yeah, Nevdi kills Mother Brain 2.
And we are a cutscene and an escape sequence away from deciding the winner. Meanwhile, Kevnastics done with Ridley, making his way to G4.
He has 6 energy tanks, so I think he actually picked up really tank for maximum safety, so he can complete the run.
Yes, I believe he did.
Or even without the, I don't doubt his ability to complete the run, but now this is just maximum safety.
Wonder if he's thinking stand up.
Oh, that's a good point. Unfortunately, with 6 E-tanks, even if you have an extra reserve tank, I don't think stand up actually works. You would need at least 7 energy tanks in order to initiate it. I may be incorrect, but
I'm not sure myself. I know it's one of Kevnastics' favorite tricks or glitches. So any chance he gets to do it, he does. And I don't run any categories myself that use it, so somebody in chat knows more than me, so I'm sure we'll be corrected.
Mother Brain 3-5 for Nevdi. You want to get Mother Brain into this infinite chain of combos. I feel like Nevdi may be standing a bit too close to Mother Brain. I'm not sure. The closer you stand to Mother Brain, the harder it becomes to keep her in the lock. But it actually saves some lag frames, because the rainbow, the hyper beam will be on screen for a shorter amount of time.
How many sprites do you figure is one shot of that hyper beam?
It's a good question.
Too many.
I wonder myself. And Nevdi in the escape sequence.
That's a really neat turnaround that you can do in that first escape room to not misalign the door and then not bonk any platforms on the way down escape room 2. You do a little like halt your movement and then do a morph unmorph through the door. And it's actually kind of tricky to do and saves very little, but it's fun to see anyway.
back. It's I feel like 3 years ago, even the top 80% runners weren't going for it, but now it has become a standard maneuver among the top runners. I think it saves roughly, I think it saves 0.3 seconds, based on a timer, because you can actually see when the runners reach the second door using a safe timer. But it is indeed a very tricky maneuver.
All right. Nevdi's going to board the ship and
GG's.
finish in first place with an official race time of 1 hour, 3 minutes, and 46 seconds. GG, Nevdi.
Sure. That's a really strong time.
I'm looking at what everybody's North Korea PB was going into this tournament, and yes, oh my god, 103. That puts this run of Nevdi's just now ahead of everybody except the top 2 runners going into the tournament. So that's a heck of a time. I'm sure we'll be talking to Nevdi any minute now. We'll see how he feels about how he did.
While Kevnastics finishing up grade, so he is now on his way to G4. Doesn't look like he has forfeited from the race, so we will be seeing hopefully 2 completed runs.
Looks like he wants to finish. We are joined by tonight's winner, Nevdi. How you doing?
Hey, yeah, pretty well. I understand Kev picking this. This is definitely what I was expecting, the most volatile one. And honestly, I just had a good Meridia. Like, Dre patterns were perfect. Nothing went bad, so I got pretty lucky and got through it. Everything else was a bit sketchy, but not enough to make the difference, I guess. Yeah. So I feel good.
Good. Congratulations on your win. We were noting earlier, we saw you hesitate for a second in the gate room, just out of Meridia, top of Red Tower. Was there any reason for that?
I can't remember.
I don't know. Okay. It was weird. It was like you stopped on screen for a minute, and I was looking at you like, he's not firing the super. What's he doing?
No, I don't know. Maybe I was just maybe I was taking my time to line it up perfect. I'm not sure. I'll have to go back and check.
That's an acceptable answer for sure.
Yeah. I saw Kev had a pretty clean Dragon as well, but an unfortunate problem in Meridia. Like, I know that he loves this category and I was expecting to run it as well, but we'll see how he feels afterwards. But I know that it's not probably the way he wanted to perform in this one. And I performed well in Meridia, so it's just one of those things. It is volatile, and today it just went my way, I think.
For sure. I was just noting that the time that you just finished this race is actually ahead of everybody except for the top 2 runners with the PBs they have posted going into this tournament. So Kev really needed you to screw up, and it didn't happen.
Yeah. The run goes pretty well consistent after Meridia. I guess, yeah, probably before Meridia, and then after Meridia is really consistent. It's just not too much of a run. So exactly, the volatility is in Meridia entirely, pretty much. Maybe the Hell runs as well, but I'm getting that E-tank in the ceiling these days just because, it's not worth the risk.
For sure. Totally understandable. I saw before this race started, you banned Nintendo Power %, and Kev was thinking, yeah, that was definitely going to happen. Was it
I've never done a run. I don't know what to do. I've never done it before. I gotta ban it. That's my weakness. Maybe don't. Oh god, next person I'm versing now is just like, yeah, I've got a free ban, so I probably might have to learn it before next week. But that's why I ban it, because I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, that category, if you screw up one item order or boss order, you lose 1 minute instantly. So, and there are plenty of chances to mess up if you haven't studied a route. So I think that's definitely a good call there.
Yeah, well, it was going to be GT Max that I wasn't going to learn or do, but MGA gave that to me last week, and I learned it on the fly, and I actually don't mind it. So I'm feeling a lot more confident about that. That probably really helped me to just completely write off Nintendo Power and learn or get better at GT Max, because that's a pretty fun category. I like that.
Well, hopefully you'll get a chance to run it against your next opponent. I'm gonna look at the bracket here, because this is the second win for you, so you're gonna be moving on.
Yeah, I got a tough
And-
next one. It's going to be a tough next round for sure.
Oh wow. Yeah, if I'm reading this right, it's going to be against either Apathy Duck or Bands with Legends, so that's not going to be easy.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I mean, it is my own fault for not submitting or not doing runs before this and just getting a really low seed. So I just have to deal with it and do my best, I suppose. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a lot of practice.
As I understand it, it was because you were still in the randomizer league.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so full attention was on Rando League. It was a bit of a crossover, so I thought about doing some work in these, but I really just hard committed to Rando League until that was done. But now I'm
that baby skip. Too bad.
Oh, Kev. Oh wow, he pretty much stuffed up right at the end. I wonder why. That looked good to me, but anyway.
Oh, it happens.
And I must say a huge props to Nevdi for taking time to actually even participate in this tournament, because this is compared to a randomizer league, this will be a very niche tourney featuring niche categories, and it's being displayed for the first time. So really, the organizers, I'm sure, are really thankful for you taking the time, even though it's a crossover for you, still showing up to the extension community and making this tourney exciting.
Yeah, no worries. I think it's really cool. As soon as it was announced, I was so hyped because there's a lot of Super Metroid just really not about that any percent hundo low ice that a lot of other games are, or not low ice, low percent. You know, you got your three main ones, but there's so much cool stuff in SM, and it does get shown off a lot in randomizer. But if you want a vanilla experience with, you know, category vetoing, this is it. There's so much awesome things we get to show with this route. Really fun runs, and it gets a lot of people doing stuff they wouldn't have done otherwise. So yeah, I was very hyped for it and could not miss this one. Pretty excited.
Well, we're very glad you joined in. On that note, what's your favorite category to run in this tournament of the 5 of them?
It's probably got to be North Korea, I think, still, but I really don't like racing North Korea. I love running it to set times, but the volatility is too much in a race for me. So I'm going to be boring and say any percent all bosses would be my favorite thing to race in this tournament.
That's a minority opinion for sure. I feel most of the runners in this tourney would maybe list any percent all bosses as the not to discriminate or anything, but probably the most flavorless of the 5. But
definitely.
Knowing your strong background in any percent, I feel like it's understandable.
Yeah, I think that I'll be picking that against most people. But the next round, I don't have that advantage versus Duck or Bands, so it's going to be tough. I'll have a look, I'll watch how they play, and then I'll see where I want to do. But it could be the point where I'm going to have to learn Nintendo Power to have that extra advantage. I don't know, we'll see. And that could be my favorite category, but for now, it's the boring or
I probably doubt it, but I doubt it.
I was going to say... I was going to say Nintendo Power is... I've run it a few times and decided, you know what, screw this.
Okay, I'm going to take your advice, guys, and just keep vetoing it. Sounds good.
Learn it, just so you know how annoying it is.
Okay, I like it. I like the decision. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to chill in when Kev gets here, but he looks like he's going to finish it out, so I'll be back and talk to you all soon, and Kev in a minute.
All right, we'll see you in a minute. If you're not already following Nevdi, I just put the link to both him and Kevnastics in the chat. Drop a follow to both of them. They are both very entertaining runners. They do a lot of different categories, as you can tell from this tournament. And you get guys like Nevdi who are confident enough, or maybe just carefree enough, to join a tournament and not know how to run 2 of the categories that are in it. Kevnastics doing that same strat. You want to get in Motherbrain's face so you reduce the lag frames, but you don't want to get so close that you lose the pattern. 36 shots from the Hyper Beam will do it.
Yeah, all in all, pretty clean fight. And all that remains for Kev is the escape sequence.
You think he'll save the animals?
I'll just say it's a possibility.
Yeah, that's the more standard way of getting from Escape Room 1 to Escape Room 2. Just fall down the left side. If you try to fall down the right side without arresting your momentum beforehand, you will screw up the door transition badly enough that it's not worth doing.
Yeah, that's a really good point, and it's actually among one of the more commonly seen easy time saves that many runners aren't aware of. I definitely remember back in the day I was trying to get Samus to hug the right side wall and not realizing how much time you're losing the transition. That's a terrible transition if you do that.
Exactly. And doing the standard right side spark up.
And the last real tricky room in terms of movement, harder in any category if you're going from bottom to top. Always it's tricky.
It's going to finish up in any second now. And there it is. Kevnastics finishing in second place. 1 hour, 15 minutes, and 34 seconds. GG's, Kev. We're actually joined by Kevnastics here right now. How you doing? How'd you feel about it?
I mean, aside from the entire section of like leaving Crocomire and getting to Dragon, take that out, the run was pretty good. And then I kind of got tired at the end, so I wish I had a little bit more time to practice. But I got a big move coming up, so I had to get these races done. But I had a blast, and really excited. I finally got a chance to race Nevdi. I wasn't expecting to come anywhere near close to Nevdi's times, but
Hey Kev, GG.
Yeah, GG Nevdi. I was actually going to pick Nintendo Power Percent if you did not ban it.
I had to get rid of it.
It
would have been a disaster
for sure.
Yeah,
and there was no way I was running max percent GT, because the longer the category, the further apart you and I are going to be. So that was a good category. I had a lot of fun. I'm pretty happy with just about everything. It's just I got into Coliseum, and I ended up getting in a morph ball, because I usually like to morph and unmorph to just kind of stall my momentum on the grapple, and I just didn't unmorph, so I got stuck in the sand in a ball. I'm like, all right, this sucks.
Is that what happened?
All the runners.
Yeah, that room's scary. I saw that. I've never really seen you do that much. Like your Meridia, or rather your Dragon, was really good considering the bad patterns. I got lottery, and I just got really good goop. It was really lucky that I got what I got, because that stuff, you can stuff that up. Well, I really ruin that if I don't get the patterns that I want. And I noticed that you got a fair few swoops, handled it well, so I want to shout out you for that part. But the sand is really frustrating. I think that's the worst part to lose the run.
Yeah, I was really hoping for a no reset run. I had much better luck on my hell runs this time than the initial ones than I did in my last match, where I did last 2 matches actually. But then I almost died at Croc Escape because I completely missed the grapple, and then I missed the jump, and then I ended up in the lava. And then I'm like, all right, well, I got to use my reserves, and now I'm going to have to farm on my way to Meridia. So I didn't get my usual entrance, so I biffed the fast entrance into Meridia.
Oh, wow, I didn't notice that. That's big, actually. Yeah, that's a big time loss for sure. But it sounds like that race stuff sort of happened and you handled it all well, except for obviously the sand, which is the reset part. But everything else sounded
it's okay.
okay. Yeah, it's just that's what the category is. And today I just if you saw me last week or whenever it was before, I got a 120 in this in my race because because I really ruined my Dragon. So I felt this was the category, and I was nervous. I know that everyone. I have a really good time in it, but this was a bit worrying for me, so I had a big sigh of relief after Dragon.
I mean, my average time for this is like a 111, so I mean, it's not anywhere near in your league, but for the categories in the tournament, this is one of my better ones.
Yep.
So, and one of my favorites. So, yeah, I was kind of happy to pick it because I do enjoy running it, and I did not get a chance to run 69% until today, so thank you for picking that, and thanks for just being a good sportsman. It's always a pleasure, commentating for you, watching you run. I did not catch the restream, so I've just been too nervous lately. I'm too busy. I got stuff going on, so I'm really excited. So, Susri McTimothy, thanks for doing the comms. I'm sure they're excellent.
Well, thanks for running. We can't do this without you.
Nice.
It was an honor. It was an honor being able to commentate this run you guys had, as I put up a great show. For
sure. I saw the opportunity to come a Kevnastics run and thought, oh, I'm doing this for sure.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I proved to everybody that I can actually do a crate quick kill. Almost every time I get restreamed, I fail it. Like almost every single time.
Me too.
So I got both of them today. I can do the skill. I can do it.
Yeah, nice. It's so nerve-wracking on restream, isn't it? Like, oh man, he's great quick kill. Everyone, every viewer, every com can do this, and I'm about to screw it up.
It's like the easiest kind of like speed running boss strat, but it's just also like the easiest to blow.
Yeah, 100%.
That is race luck right there.
Yeah, and I got both, 2-round Fantoons in that fight, so I was pretty excited about that too. Because my last Fantoon was like 9 rounds of disaster.
Well, GG to both runners. You both put on quite the show. Oh. Now I'm curious. I'm looking at the end screen here. Nevdi, you got 30%. Kevnastics got 31%. Kev, what did you pick up?
I probably, if I had
the Ridley tank.
An extra
Ridley
tank.
That's weird.
Okay, because I didn't get the Ridley tank in my match against Glausio, and because I wasn't watching the restream, and I'm like, God, our times are close. Like I could do this, so I totally skipped the Ridley tank, not knowing I was way ahead, and it was so dangerous. Today I said, look, I really don't think that 16 seconds is going to separate Nevdi and I. Screw it, I'm getting this Ridley tank. I am not dying here.
Yeah, I think it's good. It doesn't take too long, and arguably, you can trade health for time in this route in KPDR. So even if it's not the safety one, you can probably move a bit quicker with that extra health anyway. So makes sense.
Absolutely. If I had had a better Ridley fight, I would have opted against it. But it's exactly like you said. It's you can move faster when you're not worried about dying.
Yeah. Yep. No, thanks, Kev. Really fun to race you guys. Thanks so much, Cesarine and McTimothy for comms, and MM2 from earlier. Good series. I'll do my best, Kev, and try and take this all the way or as far as I can, so you can say that that's the only way you lost. So I always say that to people. I'm like, I'll do my best to justify your exit, because I think you should have gone further in this tournament for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate I didn't do any submissions. I do feel guilty about that, but I'll do my best.
That's all right, man. It was just, I think I've seen you now either, doing comms for you, watching you in GT Classic, SM Rat, now this tournament. So it's just cool to run into you, time and time again and catch you when you're streaming. So an honor for me. You're a favorite streamer of mine. And, everybody, thank you so much. I've had a wonderful time in this tournament. I did not think I would ever be good enough to run this variety of categories, especially when I started speedrunning. So, for me, the fact that not only I can do these categories, but I can actually race them fairly competently, that's a win for me. So this was a blast, and thank you to everybody.
Well said, well said. I think we're ready to close it out. Do you guys have anything else you wanted to say or talk about before we ended it?
Always, but I'm not gonna. Thank, thank you, everybody. Take care.
All right. Thanks, Kevnastics. Thank you, Nevdi. GG again. Congrats to Nevdi. He's going to advance into the next round of the losers bracket. Kevnastics will unfortunately be golfing. But that's okay. You can still catch him on his own stream doing... what do you plan on doing next, actually? I'll end with that.
You know, now that I'm not in this tournament anymore, I've been kind of like, I was waiting for GT Classic tournament to end to get on my hundo grind, because that's my favorite category. Well, one of my favorite categories. And then after SM Rat, then I joined SM Rat, and I'm like, all right, after that I'm going to do my hundo grind. And then this tournament came up, and I'm like, okay, after this tournament, I'm gonna, so I'm down to like a 127. I think I can get a 125. So that's my next goal is probably a 37 GT Classic and maybe a 125 hundo, and then I might actually, when my life calms down, because I'm doing a big move right now, I'm gonna actually do an RBO. So that's my future.
Oh, that's exciting. That's exciting.
Ooh.
Heck yeah.
All right, well, there you go. You can catch Kevnastics on his stream doing all kinds of different stuff. And Nevdi, who knows what he's going to do next either. He's also quite the runner who does a lot of different things. For now, thanks again to both runners. Susraim, do you have anything to say before we close out?
I want to say thank you. Thanks a lot, Kevnastics, for joining this race. It was awesome having you be part of it. And enjoy your quest with your future projects.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
All right, I think that will end it for us. Thanks again to the runners and to the volunteers behind the SpeedGaming channels, and to MM2 and Mr. Guy Average, the organizers of this tournament. It takes an awful lot of work behind the scenes to get this stuff viewer ready and restreamed and commentated. And the behind-the-scenes guys don't get enough credit for it, I don't think. So shout-outs to all of them. Be sure to follow both runners, Kevnastics and Nevdi. The links to their Twitch channels are in the chat. And we will see you next mission.